Hi folks, we took a nice little trip this morning. I called Julie and asked her if Kimberly would like to come over and help me give Lady a bath. And while she was here, they got to talking, and Julie and Jan got to talking, and next thing I know, we were headed for a day trip. Destination Zion National Park. Pictures here are mostly taken by Kimberly. I gave her the camera. Casey took some pictures, and I took a few. But most of the scenery shots are Kimberly's. She really loved the park, and the views were spectacular as always. Jan and I always like Zion National Park. Shortly into the park, we found this road up the mountain, and we got a couple of really nice little shots here. This was the guard shack before you go through the tunnel, and that's the guard. And the guard was nice enough to pose with the girls. So we got a shot of the girls with the guard, and then she was nice enough to take a picture of the girls and me. I think I'm going to shorten that one a little bit. Because that was, well, that's not there yet. And there's Casey, or Kimberly rather. And that's the three of us posing for the guard shack. Now we've got three of us in the picture. We need to go find the other two. And they're out there somewhere. This is what we were waiting for. They bring these big vehicles through the tunnel. And this was us headed into the tunnel after a line of traffic came out. So we were the first ones in the tunnel. It's long and dark, and it's got about 5 windows. And the windows are really neat. You look out the windows, but the problem is you're going 25, 30 miles an hour, and your eyes can't focus fast enough to see what's outside. And frankly, neither can the camera. But here in a little bit, we'll get out of the tunnel, and you'll get to see what the tunnel was like back in the day. There's the end of the tunnel, and we've got some pictures here that the girls must have taken in the museum. Oh, this was the girls on their laps. After we went in the museum, they got these museum books, and they were well on their way to being rangers a second time. They did this in, that's Casey. They did this in Red Rock, and they both got sworn in as junior rangers. They didn't have time to do the junior ranger routine today, but they did get to look through the book and fill out some of the things, find some of the stuff, and they took a lot of pictures of Zion and the signboards along the way that you stop and they tell you what's what. And then last stop on the day was the Checkerboard Mesa, and that's coming up. This is a big cliff on the way to the mesa, and they got them all over the park. This is the Checkerboard Mesa in the winter, and that's really cool. But it wasn't winter today, so we got to see it this way. And that's Julie and Bridget, or Julie and Casey and Kimberly, and I think that's Julie putting fingerprints on the car, I think. And there's Jan with Julie. That's a nice shot. Oh, they look sexy, don't they? This is what those windows looked like back in the day, probably about the 50s. And this is what they look like from the outside. Today they haven't blocked them up. You can see out the windows. This is a little gecko lizard we found at the visitor center, and so the girls had to have a picture of it, and they got good pictures. I was surprised how good the pictures turned out, because this little guy's quick. If you don't get the picture, here they are filling out their books, and they did find the gecko, find the little lizard. Then we stopped off to top the day off at Golden Corral, and this is Casey. That was Kimberly. saying, "Fill her up." And that's Julie and Casey getting their plates ready. So how was Golden Corral? Oh yeah. That's what her opinion of it was. 2 thumbs up for Golden Corral. Well, my goodness, let's get the chocolate off your face. And let's get the chocolate off the fingers too while you're at it, Casey. And next we've got chocolate covered strawberries. They went to the chocolate wonderfall, and they had cotton candy and chocolate strawberries, and here they're enjoying chocolate marshmallows. What a day. This is the Donnybrook in fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. A great place to live, work, and play.